It's the Nice Guys podcast, and we are finally back for season 2 after our hiatus. Sports was on a little hiatus, but sports is back. So are we. Noah, I am really excited right now. And you're only here for but you're only here for the beer and the booty.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Read the shirt. Read the shirt.
Yeah. So, we're kicking season 2 off uh, in a big way today. We're going to get right into it. We're going to talk some NBA bubble. We're going to talk some college football might be dead. And then we are going to talk some metal with our good friend Jacob Curry, the drummer for Clendenin, West Virginia's own Blackwater band.
Yes, sir. I'm really excited for that one.
How you been, Noah?
I've been fantastic. I'm so glad we're doing this again. I've been waiting to do one of these for literally ever, and now we finally get the chance.
It feels good. We've got some takes that we've been wanting to get out. They've been just
they've been steaming up inside.
Steaming.
Waiting.
You got to take them out.
And now they're back, and we're back.
Yes, absolutely. And NBA is back. It's been back for a little bit now.
For a little bit, but hey, it's the real season's coming up now. This is a fake season. We got the real season now.
Right. So some teams have been battling for positions in the playoffs. Some teams have been battling for seeding in the little makeshift season that they've been doing, but the playoffs are coming up. I finally have gotten to catch some of the games, and I am all in on the bubble. I was skeptical at first, but watched a bunch of games this weekend, and I fucking love the bubble. It's awesome.
I just now thought about this. Literally this second. How cool would it be to have a bubble-like tournament every year?
I don't know. I don't know if that would work every year. It's kind of a special thing.
Like the Champions Circle. So it's like you could do it like the group stage of the World Cup, and then have it'd be like rapid one game tournament, and it'd be like the TBT. It'd be like TBT kind of, but it'd have group stage and then maybe like a quarterfinals, semis, and finals or something like that.
But I still think I think maybe by that point the novelty would wear off, and we would want to see that's a good idea, but we would want to see those games like in home arenas with fans going crazy.
Yeah, there could be it could almost be like one of those tournaments, like preseason college basketball tournaments, like Cancun or something like that.
I like that a lot. Yes, they should do preseason tournaments.
I don't know if I like the idea of preseason, like a totally different tournament. Like so like you have like in soccer you have like in England, there's the Premier League title. Then they're also fighting for the FA Cup, and then they're also fighting for whatever that Carabao Cup is now.
Yeah,
it changes all the time, that name. And then they also are fighting for Europe, like Champions League or Europa League. I mean, some teams will battle 4 or 5 different competitions every year. How cool would it be to have a competition other than, NBA playoffs?
Right.
In the regular season?
That would be electric. How would you do that? You could do like some rivalry game tournaments or something?
I don't know. They could figure something. I mean, that's for people smarter than me.
Exactly.
To make that decision. And the fact that they haven't made that decision to do something like that shows how stupid they are.
Right. Yeah, we're ideas guys, but after that you gotta take it from there, because that's all we have. We have good ideas, but the execution, and I think the podcast kind of shows that. Yeah, here for the beer and the booty, and the ideas and the takes, but not the execution.
The PJs and the BJs.
DJs, hey, PG-13. So anyways, what do you want to talk about in the bubble now? You're kind of more the NBA guy than me, but
I thought you're becoming an NBA guy because it's the only thing to really watch.
Yeah, I mean, I got into it, and the games are all back to back. There's basketball all the time. It's so awesome. They're all in the same place, so it's it's amazing. I'm in on the bubble.
I think that because I love college basketball so much, the one team I've really enjoyed watching is the only undefeated team in the bubble so far, the Phoenix Suns.
Yes.
Part of the reason that our main man, Javon Carter, is on that team, and also because Devin Booker has been going absolutely bananas.
Yeah, respect to Devin Booker. Javon Carter's still my favorite. He's my favorite son, but respect to what Devin Booker is doing.
Yeah,
I hope that they can make.
I know against OKC he had the 35-point game. Against the Heat he had another 35-point game. He passed the record for like most 30-point games in Suns history. He's broken so many records. Him and Kareem are the only people to have 3 50-point games in this, or 60-point. I don't know. That's Dan. Is it Dan? You know that?
Can I say the stat? I actually know that one.
Yeah, let me get the stat.
That's my one NBA fun stat for the day. Damian Lillard is the first player since Wilt Chamberlain to have 3 or more 60-point games in a season.
That's pretty crazy.
Which is fucking nuts, right?
That's pretty crazy. I knew it was something crazy.
Yeah.
But you know what? Devin Booker is overshadowing the person that's actually helping them win the games. And it's Javon Carter.
Thank you. Yes.
So Javon Carter, especially against the Thunder, who's been playing really well. Javon Carter played 37 minutes that game.
Yeah.
That's basically the whole game. He played 37 minutes. He had 8 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, shot 100% from the field, had 3 steals and 2 blocks. And this is against Chris Paul. He was 2 steals and 3 blocks away for having a 5x5. I mean, that's an excellent stat line, especially playing 37 minutes. And the most impressive thing that you'll love.
Okay.
In 37 minutes, he had 1 turnover.
That's throwback. Yes, that's throwback Javon Carter. I was gonna say that just like at WVU, the most important stuff that he doesn't show up on the stat line. They always love saying that about Javon at WVU.
It's like the Bam Adebayo. So did you watch any of the Heat game where you saw the highlights?
I didn't. I saw the highlights. I didn't see the Heat.
His play on Bam Adebayo where he got blocked on the other side of the court.
Mm-hmm.
Bam Adebayo picked the ball up basically with full court. Javon Carter played on Bam Adebayo, someone who's, it's this guy against
bigger than him.
That guy.
Yeah. Right.
And he played super tough defense on him. Bam Adebayo decided to take Javon Carter to the rim. I don't know what you're thinking in that situation.
You should have watched the highlights from WVU when he would just strip it every time.
Javon Carter versus Perry Ellis highlights. That's clamps all day.
Yeah.
And he blocked that shit. He basically saved the game for the Heat, or for the Suns versus the Heat. It's pretty crazy. Booker had what? He had 35 again that game.
Well, so we say this about the Suns, but are they going to make the playoffs?
I hope so, but I mean, I don't know if I see it. They play the Mavericks with their last game.
Okay.
I do know on the Mavericks they have a couple injuries. They have Seth Curry is a game time decision. Courtney Lee, he's out for season. Dwight Powell's out for season. Dorian Finney-Smith, game day decision. Willie Cauley-Stein out for season. Kristaps Porzingis game time decision.
That's the whole team.
Well, I mean, some of those guys have been out for a long time, and they pick some guys in between that. But I mean, when you have a team that's expecting to have these guys later on in the season and they're out, in the beginning of the season when you have all that, it just fucks up the chemistry. So maybe they have a chance. If Kristaps doesn't play, I think they have a really high chance. DeAndre Ayton, give him a chance to eat and stuff like that. But yeah, so I guess we'll see.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would love to see Javon in the playoffs, but going back to what who we were talking about earlier, in watching these games, I think I am officially a Blazers guy. Now, that's not Now that's not a commitment of picking them up as my favorite team, but man, I love what Damian Lillard has been doing. I've always liked Damian Lillard. I've always respected that he stays in Portland or with the Blazers. Now he's not in Portland or whatever, but I've always loved what he does. I love that he likes taking on the other star players instead of joining them. And what he's been doing in the bubble is ridiculous. And I guess it's enough people are talking about it, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of definitely not like
It's stupid.
Probably the biggest story in the bubble so far.
That's what I'm saying, and it's unbelievable. You know, he wears my favorite sabermetric stat about Damian Lillard. He wears number 0, but if you ask him why he wears the number 0, he'll tell you it's not a 0, it's an O for Oakland, where he's from. Respect.
But I mean, like you saw, he did have, what was it the other night versus the Mavericks?
I don't know, more than 60 or something.
61 points on 53% shooting from the field and 52% from three. I saw someone sent me this today. Let me find it real quick. It was a Lonzo Ball stat, and it's pretty crazy. Lonzo Ball. Oh, this is a Devin Booker one. Dang it! I'm gonna say it anyways. Sorry, this kind of is off the rails.
I'm here to learn.
Lonzo Ball in the bubble, 26% field goal percentage from the field, 19% from three, 43% from the free throw. You add that up, and that's only 88%, just total. That has no correlation, really, but it's just 88%.
Mm-hmm.
Devin Booker at the free throw line this season is 92%. And basically, Devin Booker has more of a chance of hitting a three-pointer than Lonzo does have making a free throw shot, which is crazy. But anyways, that didn't really – I thought it was Damian Lillard, but it was –
Hey, in these uncertain times, these are weird times, so we might as well
just say that again.
Throw out the stats. Yeah, take them while we get them.
If you say uncertain times, I'm quitting the
podcast. Yeah, so a guy who's not doing very well in the bubble that I think we should talk about as well because of your situation, Noah, Ben Simmons. Sixers, done.
He's hurt. They're done.
Sixers done.
They're not done.
Sixers done.
They're not done.
Celtics first round victory. Sixers done.
They're not. They're literally not done.
Okay.
I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for this moment my whole life. Right when this is just like the Eagles in the playoffs whenever they won the Super Bowl. You count out these Philly teams, and they are literally going to come back. Carson Wentz. You think he's done. Carson Wentz has Ben Simmons in this situation. Joel Embiid is Nick Foles. Big Dick Joel Embiid is about to Mandingo, as he put on his Instagram.
Joel Embiid.
Joel Embiid, Mandingo lad. He is about to big dick the Celtics. I'm talking like literally destroy them, and I can't wait to see it.
Okay, we might have to get the Hoop Supply guys on to talk about that because I feel like I can't really take you on this, but I know that you're wrong.
Have him on.
What?
We should have him on before the playoffs start. Well, we can't really do it before the playoffs start, but we should do mid playoffs. Looking in. Hey, soon to come, maybe. Soon
to come, but go listen to Noah on the Hoop Supply podcast.
Yeah, it was a couple episodes ago. But go listen to the Hoop Supply podcast. Dude.
A couple episodes ago, but I listened to it like a week ago. It's very funny.
Right.
And you'll get caught up on Noah's insane NBA beliefs.
Well, the Ben Simmons thing kind of like, if he doesn't come back to the bubble, I don't necessarily see them winning the title. But I definitely see them getting past the Celtics in the first round. So, regardless, Embiid's going to feast. He's going to average 40 on them.
That'll be a fun one for the podcast. Maybe I'll pick up the Celtics for that series. How would you like that?
That'd be a wise decision.
Okay. For the podcast or for me?
Both, I think. It'd be dumb not to take the Celtics in that situation whenever, the Sixers' best player is out with an injury. Uh, but people forget that the Sixers also have, some guys on the bench that can do a job, like Raul Neto, the Spaniard, the unbelievable point guard who has shown up recently. Other guys too that have shown up. Matisse Thybulle can still guard. I look forward to seeing Matisse potentially guarding Jason Tatum and shutting him down as well. I don't see Jason Tatum averaging more than 25 with Ben Simmons or without him. So I can't wait to see how they do that. Josh Richardson has been playing really well. Alec Burks, who's someone before the bubble I said should have played more, he's playing well now. A couple other guys have been, doing a job. Al Horford actually hasn't played that shitty besides a couple games, which is shocking. So,
Okay.
the Sixers can do a good job.
Yeah. Well, if it's okay, I'm going to stop you before this turns into a Sixers podcast.
Hater.
The other, of the games that I watched over the weekend, the team that really impressed me the most was definitely the Raptors, right? Giving it to the Bucks. I know they didn't have Giannis, but
to be fair, I'd much rather see the Raptors win than the Bucks.
What's your problem with the Bucks?
Ew, dude. It's so boring.
That's your problem?
It's so boring, dude.
That's your take on the Milwaukee Bucks is dude.
They're not even, good, dude. They're really not good. They have one guy who's – actually, they don't even have one – they have guys that do a really good job, and they have one really tall guy that can, walk. He walks to the rim. He takes 4 steps, and then people will say, oh, dude, sick move, and he's garbage. He sucks. Okay.
Why are you a hater?
I'm not a hater. He's not that good. He's so overrated.
Well, I think what are we probably going to get him in the finals with LeBron because they're going to rig it? That seems like, from an outsider's perspective, that kind of feels like what's going to happen, right?
Whoever wins the Celtics Sixers series goes to the finals.
Could you repeat that, please?
Whoever wins the Celtics Sixers series will go to the finals.
Wow.
And I hate the Celtics.
Coming out of the gate.
I hate the Celtics. I have to say it. And
we're definitely gonna have to clip that one and post it to bring in the viewers. Clip it.
There's no way. The Bucks just have not been it this whole time, and the Raptors are the Raptors. Come on, they're not gonna go to back-to-back finals. No, not a chance.
Okay.
If anything, the Heat has more of a chance than the Raptors.
Okay.
If the Heat beat the Pacers, then that's easy money, baby. They're literally gonna slap the Bucks. Slap them. Not a chance that I see anybody besides the Celtics, Sixers, or Heat in the finals.
Okay, so you're backtracking and you're adding the Heat now.
Well, I'm saying if the Celtics, get matched up against the Heat or the Sixers, the Sixers have shown that they can bully the Heat. So I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Get a little revenge on Jimmy Butler, right?
It's not even revenge. It ain't even like that. He ain't even like that. He thinks he's like that. It's not even. He thinks he's so hot shit, and he's not.
I will say that I think the best uniforms I saw in the bubble were the Miami Heat. Are they called the Miami Knights? The baby one they wore against the Pacers?
The Vice, Miami Vice.
They're called – now that's badass. Yeah, I like that a lot.
I think it's the Miami Vice, light blue.
Light blue. Because the Miami Knights are black and pink.
No, they're all Miami Vice, and then Miami Knights is I can look it up real quick. Miami Knights, I'm pretty sure, is a different jersey.
Well, either way, they were elite, and they showed up really well in the bubble as well lit, and they were kind of glowing out there. Other than that, I don't know much about the Heat, and other than the fact that they have Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, they're called Vice Knights.
Vice Knights. That's PG-13. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Miami Vice Knights. Dude, fuck that. It's Miami Vice, and then they can't put Miami Vice.
Because
So
it's a
Miami
video
Vice.
game or the TV show.
So it's Miami Vice. That makes so much sense. Oh, that's so cringe.
Yeah.
Can't
I
even get the naming rights.
yeah, I typically don't like the Heat, so
I don't really like them either.
yeah.
Okay. Oh, I have the scenarios, by the way.
Okay, yeah, I was about to say playoffs coming up.
Western Conference play-in scenarios.
Yeah.
So Portland right now, they need to win, or they need 2 losses by either Memphis, Phoenix, or San Antonio. So they need 2 losses from either of those 3 teams.
Okay.
Grizzlies need to go in if they get a win or losses by Phoenix and San Antonio, or Phoenix and San Antonio.
Okay.
The Suns get in if they get a win and a loss by either Portland or Memphis. And then the Spurs get in if they get win and losses by 2 of Portland, Memphis, and Phoenix. So the easiest road right now, I don't know who Portland has left to play. I'm pretty sure Portland has. Let's just make sure so I don't say anything stupid. So Portland has the Nets. I don't know if I like that. The Grizzlies have the Bucks.
R.I.P.
Rip.
Yep.
Suns have the Mavericks, but they're kind of injury plagued and they've been playing well. So
Okay.
so they need to do okay. And the Spurs have the Jazz. So rip. So I think the only 2 I really see coming out could be either the I don't know. It's going to be tight.
Either way, playoffs are going to be a lot of fun.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah. One thing I want to know about the bubble is how do you get on the board? How do you get in the fan Zoom thing?
I'm pretty sure I saw something like this before everything happened. I think the home team picks 300 fans
Okay.
to be on it.
Okay. So my question to you is how do we get in there on how do we get into one of the bubble games and promote the podcast and we'll sneaking it in there? Like we'll have a sign or something.
This could be a good video.
That's
The bubble.
especially with the playoffs coming up. We're hyping up. We're kind of doing a promotion for the NBA, hyping up the Celtics Sixers matchup. So I could pretend to be a Celtics fan. You are a Sixers fan, and we could get on the board for some of those games. What do you think about that?
Oh, but with the recent influx of people into the bubble, are they going to be allowed to go to the games?
Well, okay, I forgot about that. They're letting in.
It really is an AAU tournament now.
Because it's only close friends and family.
It's only close friends and family.
Well, you have to,
and they're wearing matching socks.
Well, it's you have to prove an in-person relationship with the person, right? Isn't that how they're doing it?
Yeah. So James Harden can't bring a stripper.
I was about to say. Well, I was going to ask you. Yeah, who is the most likely person to try to sneak in like Instagram thoughts that they like?
James Harden, Lou Williams.
Would you not say Kevin Durant if things were different?
I don't, dude. Who's sleeping with Kevin Durant?
I mean, he would try. That's what I'm saying.
Who's sleeping with that guy?
I'm saying that he would give it a shot. He would be the most likely to try.
How low do you have to go to sleep with Kevin Durant?
I mean, he is rich and famous.
He's rich and famous, but he's like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, he's
everything. Come on.
He's really corny, but I think this
he's probably like, hey. No, never mind. I'm not. We're not doing that here.
I think that this might make things more interesting because like now you've introduced extra drama into the mix for sure. You already know that like something is going to happen with friends and families in the bubble.
What if they get in a fight?
There's going to be there's going to be families fighting. There's going to be hookup controversy. There's going to be think about Tinder in the bubble after they let all these people in.
Think about if they bring coronavirus into the bubble.
Well, I guess that is the primary concern, but they're testing them. The earliest they can come is 2
They've been
weeks.
so good about this, and then they decide to do this. It's pretty stupid. And players play better when they don't get their nut.
I didn't even think about that. Do you think that might be behind Damian Lillard and
Damian Lillard are going to go off anyways, but it could be behind Devin Booker.
Right.
I mean, Devin Booker does go off, but maybe that 70-point game he had that one time, he didn't nut for like 2 months.
Okay. That's an excellent point. We wanted to get – so I didn't know if we were actually going to do this or not, but we kind of wanted to talk bets, good bets coming up. That is something to keep an eye on. Figure out who's bringing
LeBron James does play well when he gets his nut, but who does not play well when – like James Harden, he must not – that's why he's playing – he's not playing actually. So
I think it would be safe to say that all the stat lines are going to reverse once people come in.
Javon Carter is going to suck.
Yeah.
Wait, who's having sex with Javon Carter?
I'm saying like Devin Booker. If the Suns get into the playoffs, bet against them because Devin Booker is obviously not now.
Yeah, they're not a good pick.
He is later.
Javon's probably just bringing his mom.
Yeah.
His dad.
Yeah, his parents. Yeah, to all the games at WVU.
Yeah, just AAU stuff.
Yeah. All right. Well, is that everything we wanted to say about the bubble? What else is there to talk about in the bubble?
What else happened in the bubble?
Social distancing mic.
The social distancing mic is probably one of the dumbest shit I've ever seen on earth.
I think it's incredibly stupid, but from a comedic standpoint, it's elite.
They have to know that it is one of the dumbest things. Everybody in the bubble does not have coronavirus.
It's so funny. Yeah.
It's so dumb.
That was that was another one of my questions to you is why does everybody wear masks on the sideline if they've already been tested?
It's it's literally asinine. I don't know if it's a public statement or you've been tested. You can't get coronavirus from someone who does not have coronavirus.
I guess they're trying
to promote social distancing. It really does not make sense.
Dr. Fauci O'Reilly, you cannot get coronavirus from someone who doesn't have coronavirus.
It's literally common sense. They're all over there social distancing and
I don't think
someone's back here all the way in the back.
Do they social distance on the bench? They look pretty close on the bench.
Doctor social distance on the bench.
Who does?
How stupid is that?
Who does?
Soccer. They have distancing benches.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, I don't know. They're trying to take every precaution, but at some point, man,
it's just so dumb, dude. You're gonna get it. You're playing with them every day without. Yeah. It doesn't. These reporters are tested for coronavirus daily. You're not gonna get coronavirus from. So what is the point of this 20-meter talking stick?
6-foot mic.
Jesus Christ.
The social distancing mic. I love it.
New jobs, baby.
It's elite. That's what we should have done. Get a job doing the social distancing mic.
Damn, that would have been crazy. But see, you had coronavirus, so there was no way.
Me?
Yeah, you had coronavirus, so you couldn't get the job.
Oh yeah. I've had coronavirus for 6 months now.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. So that's why they won't let me into the bubble. That's why I couldn't get press credentials into the bubble. That's why I was denied.
Yeah, where's our nice guys' press credentials? What the fuck?
When I told them who I was and they told me to fuck off, it was probably because of that, not because of anything else.
They probably didn't get their nut off.
Right. I'm gonna I'll chalk it up to all those things and not
getting their nut off.
Yeah. So, moving on from the bubble, I don't know what we want to say about it. I think we have different opinions on this.
I think we do.
I'll go ahead and say it. College football is not happening.
It's happening because I don't know if the full season will happen. It's going to happen.
I mean,
I'm very curious to see what happens with the postseason.
there's not going to be enough people playing for there to be a season. The Big Ten is already out. Pac-12 is next.
What we could see, Nick said some dumb shit to me today. Shout out to Nick about like how it's going to be the end of college football and how the SEC is going to be a super conference with like teams on the West Coast in it and like teams. I was like, you can't have West Coast teams in the SEC.
Southeastern Conference, not Southwestern Conference.
It's not. What are you talking about?
Well, it's what I would like to see happen is because I think we can both agree that the SEC will definitely be the last holdout, right?
3 leagues are going to be playing. When the Big Ten said we're not playing,
trust me.
You know, it would be so sick if they actually came out with a real plan that would work, and then the Big 12, the ACC, and the SEC don't have a single positive case the whole season, and then it's so funny because the Big Ten isn't in it.
That's a funny hypothetical, but what I'm saying, an even better hypothetical, because I guess what I was going to say is the same thing, is I want to see all the shitty teams in the SEC pick up Big Ten superstars, and so the SEC is just like a super league this year. So like Ohio State's quarterback goes to Mississippi State. Vanderbilt picks up like Michigan's offensive line, and it's just crazy.
But also think like they can't really do that because they can only bring in so many people.
Well, it's sort of impossible. But if anybody can figure it out, it's Nick Saban.
If there's
he'll make it happen.
Or Neil Brown.
But the Big 12, I'm telling you, I'm skeptical about once we start getting positive cases on these college campuses.
Isn't even that bad though with the cases, so.
Because nobody's back on campus yet.
No, but what I'm saying is, honestly, if the WVU boys can stay away from everybody, which they can't, but if they can.
They can't. It's not possible.
That's why we don't need to have students on campus.
Exactly. Send the students home and let's still play football.
Exactly.
I think everybody would get behind that.
All the businesses would close. But
it would devastate the economy, but we would get college football.
We would get college football.
We could keep doing a podcast that we don't make any money off of. It would be awesome.
That's not true. Did you get that notification?
What?
Did you get that notification on the podcast app?
Are we making money now?
Anchor tried to offer us again.
This is a bit that we should maybe let the listeners in on. That's pretty funny. We have an opportunity to read an ad and make what?
$15 per thousand views on our episodes.
How much?
15.
$15 per 1,000 listens
on each episode,
which is not possible.
We have 120 Instagram followers.
Yeah. So, but hey,
we won't be making $15 per 1,000, and you won't be hearing ads on our videos anytime soon. Besides, for Virginia Slavery and King Salt and Booker T. Washington's Boyhood Home by Larry Linlow Ritt.
Yeah. We're gonna continue to keep it real unless you know somebody that will pay it, that has a business that'll pay us to read their ad. We'll read their ad for sure.
No free ads.
But no free ad. Yeah, they have to pay us.
They have to pay us.
So maybe, send the podcast to your rich uncle. Maybe he thinks we're funny, and we get to read something.
And Bob's your uncle.
Bob's your uncle. That doesn't make sense, but. Yeah, promote us.
How would that not make sense right there?
Bob's your uncle?
Yeah.
That's not how you use that.
And then Bob's your uncle.
Oh, okay. I guess that is true. And it's a double entendre because Bob is your rich uncle.
Bob is your rich uncle, and then Bob is your uncle.
And then Bob's your uncle.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess that's it for now.
It is it for now.
Right? Anything else you want? Anything else you want to add?
I mean, you're about to hear some good vibes in the next 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Here, we're gonna have Jacob Curry on. It's gonna be great. We're gonna talk some music, some Blackwater, some rippage,
Some drummage.
rippage and drummage.
Yeah. If you liked our interview with Nathan L., you're gonna love this one. We're back to being a music podcast. Noah, I guess that's it for you. All right. Sounds good. We are going to get to Jacob Curry, I guess, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're back. But this time, we are joined by today's special guest, the drummer of correcting my mistake from the first segment of the episode. Not Clendenin's own, but rather just Charleston's own Blackwater band. We're here with Jacob Curry. Jacob, what's going on?
Not a whole lot, man. I'm glad you guys had me on.
Great to have you. Great to have you. You have been on our list of guests that we've wanted for the whole time that we've done the podcast. And
literally the whole time. We had a list at the beginning of people.
You've just been waiting for the perfect time.
Exactly.
Well, when you dropped the EP, we weren't doing the podcast because we were on vacation in the Banwa Private Islands, and we were like, we'll do it when we get back.
That's a very expensive place we were. I just wanted to add that in.
Very expensive. $100,000 day trip.
Yeah, per night. But yeah, you guys dropped the EP, and we wanted to get season 2 underway, and we figured you would be the perfect person to have on the show, talk a little music.
Well, let's get down to it.
Let's get down to it. All right, so the EP is called Pinch Tapes.
Yes, sir.
And it is available. I know it's on Apple Music. I know it's on Spotify. Where else can people find it?
I don't know that there's anywhere that you can stream or buy music that it's not on. We distributed through DistroKid, which kind of just does it all for you. I know it's on Apple Music, iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music, Google Play, Deezer, whatever the hell that is, YouTube Music. It's even on TikTok, man.
It's on TikTok?
You can make TikToks with Blackwater's music.
Dude,
yeah. I'm a TikTok just to make a TikTok.
We should totally get on that. Yeah, we'll do dances.
God, we're gonna do a TikTok.
Yo, you might save yourself some time and effort and just do it on Instagram Reels because it's on Instagram too.
Oh, that's true. I don't know how to do Instagram Reels, but
I don't either.
And I'm gonna make a sick TikTok on Instagram.
Do it and we'll post it.
So people can find it pretty much anywhere. It's a great EP. Me and Noah have been listening to it thoroughly in preparation for the interview.
Well, I appreciate that.
And before the interview was even said, to be fair, I sent it to everybody.
Yeah, you hit me up about it too right after it came out a couple days later.
Yeah, it was on the spot when that came out. I had it on my calendar and I listened to it and I was like, well, to be honest, I'm pretty new to metal. So whenever I had it on my calendar when it dropped, it was night. And it's probably not the best thing to listen to, at that certain time.
There's never a bad time to listen to metal.
For me, I'm new to the whole. I just felt super lit, at the wrong time of day to feel super lit.
So. I get that.
Well, you guys don't have lyrics. I feel like the scariest part of metal is the lyrics. I feel that's probably the softest thing I've ever said. But it's true.
It's true in a lot of cases. It really is.
Like if Noah was listening, if Noah was up late at 3 a.m. alone in his apartment, Slayer would probably not be the best thing for him to listen to.
Well,
I mean, it
No,
depends if
me.
he's trying
No,
to sleep
me.
or not, I guess. But
Curry's, Curry's like, nah, fuck it, crank it to 11 any time of day.
Well, Curry.
that's how I feel.
Well, of course you're gonna listen to. I'm saying if Christian and I were in the same apartment and I had Slayer playing from my room at 3 a.m., then there would be cause for concern. But if Curry's doing it, then it's just.
Well, I mean, if you find me listening to Slayer at 3 a.m., please get me some help.
Well, hey, you never know, man.
Okay, yeah. So to get into the nitty gritty of the album, the EP. Sorry, I keep doing that. I did that with Nate as well. You guys are a metal band, and
Yeah.
it's metal music. That's sort of the broad genre of you guys.
Mhm.
That is that's a very broad stroke.
Yeah, it's a vague blanket term. Yeah.
Right. So what I wanted to know, since we, you're categorized as a metal band on everything, um, what else are there any other subgenres that you think you guys could maybe put yourselves in or use to describe your sound? How would you describe the sound of Blackwater more specifically?
Well, we draw influences from decades and decades of rock and metal music, going as far back as like Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin, and like Sabbath is like the biggest influence that all of us share. And then you can go up into the 90s with like Deftones, Alice in Chains, Stone Temple Pilots, and we all draw influences from that as well. You could even throw in some like new metal in there, but I think if we were to really categorize ourselves, I would like our genre to be called the new classic.
Ooh,
I love that.
that's
Because
so
I
sick.
mean, we draw from classic rock and metal as well as like modern stuff, and I think you can hear all of that in our sound. And especially going forward, I think that it'll be more diverse and more palatable to people that might not listen to just metal straight up. Because we're not out here trying to play death metal or black metal. We're just trying to play good, clean, fucking heavy metal.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's what
Shit
my
you can still dance to and move to and bob your head. Yeah.
Very vibey.
I have
Yeah.
a little bit on that later too, but one of my favorite tracks, actually my favorite track on the whole thing that I've listened to probably about 10 to 15 times at this point is Duster. And I know on Apple Music it has the star beside it,
Yep.
which means other people are listening to that too. I'm not
Yep.
the only one in that situation.
That's my personal favorite as well.
The breakdown like in the middle of the song is like so classic. Whenever you go back and listen, I've spent the past couple days going back and listening to metal because I'm pretty new to it. That early early genre, you get a lot of breakdowns of the song, like how it's like it's almost two different characters, and that's like there's like they're coming together, and then there's like suspense is like kind of building, and then it heats up, and then like flames at the end. So I just want to say that's a sick ass track.
Yeah, we actually named that song after like huffing compressed air. So like that to me is kind of like I mean, I've never huffed compressed air, but if I had to imagine what it felt like, it was probably that middle section.
I wanted to a little bit off topic, but I wanted to say that I love the names of the songs. Just straight up, that naming a song "Hit This Shit" it's just that's wonderful.
They all have like little anecdotes that go with them. Like they're not just willy-nilly names.
Right.
Yeah.
When I think of Mopped Up, I think of Everybody's Hair.
That's not exactly what we were thinking, but that works too. I mean, I guess that would be part of the mess, but
it's like a double entendre. Could be like a triple entendre if there's another meaning.
Yeah, we ended up going with Mopped Up. It was originally titled Mopped Corpses, just out of like just this stupid scenario that we were sitting around talking about one day when we were working on that song. And I mean, they were all working titles basically, except for like Pinch and Hit This Shit up until a little bit before release. So
I have a odd question that I just now thought about. It sounds kind of fried. This is literally just now. Is there in your mind? I know there's not lyrics, but in your mind, do you ever like have like, I wouldn't say lyrics, but like words that like you associate like with the songs and stuff like that? Like in your mind, like is there like stories that you think about throughout the songs that like inspire each selection?
Um, I would. I'm probably the wrong person to ask that question about like our music. Um, I know that like when I write stuff myself, that like typically I'll give it a working title, and that's kind of like if I do write lyrics to it, it'll be based off of that. Um, but I mean, I would say that the song titles definitely affect how I feel about the song and like the vibe that it gives off. Because like Mopped Up to me isn't like the heaviest song. It doesn't even have some of the heaviest sections, but it feels the heaviest to me because the name is just metal as fuck.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, I would definitely say that there's vibes that go along with it. I wouldn't say that there's like words that I associate, but definitely vibes. Like some songs are more fun to play than others because of names, I think. So.
Well, speaking, Christian and I were talking earlier, and one of the questions that I wanted to ask, this is also in the fried section for me, is a band that you're familiar with has no kind of literal relation to you guys, but it's kind of like a comparison. I look at you guys almost as like a Free Nationals of metal. So like, Free Nationals on their latest album, they had styles, R&B, hip hop, neo, soul, they even down to reggae as well. The Chronics joint too that dropped.
I really like the Free Nationals. That album was good.
Yeah, it's such a great album. It's
And
definitely
their collabs are fantastic.
It's so good. Listening to you and learning a couple of different subgenres, something I caught on, the three subgenres that I wrote down that you guys are similar to is like heavy metal, like classic heavy metal, a little bit of thrash, and then groove metal, which I know it's like you guys. I don't know too much about it, but I listened to like about 10 songs of each of like 6 different subcategories, and like I
Any
really
stick out to you?
You guys are so groovy, and like there's such like a vibe to it, and there's so many different layers to like your songs.
Well, I think you actually just answered the genre question better than I did.
Yeah. That's what I was just like, is it like pretty sick to like be able to like maybe branch out into different genres of metal and like combine it all together and stuff like that?
Yeah, for sure. 'Cause I mean, we don't want to like box ourselves in, and like I would just based off like what we're working on now post EP, it sounds quite a bit different. It still has its similarities, obviously, but the new stuff that we're working on is better, first of all, and it sounds different.
Do you plan on staying in that metal genre? Because I know you guys are really talented. It's you on drums, Alex on guitar, Nick on guitar, and Tim on bass.
Yep.
You guys are all really talented on each selected, that that whole John. You guys are so good at different areas. Do you plan on like reaching out to other rock categories, not just metal?
Yeah, we also want to do like instrumental and vocal collaborations going forward. Because I mean, if we don't get like a designated vocalist, instrumental music can only take you so far. I mean, there's several instrumental bands that I love and I listen to regularly, but I don't find myself going back to them as often as regular artists or bands with vocals, just for that. And I don't know, you can get a lot of different like genre bending styles and stuff out of collaborations, especially if you branch out on the instrumentation a little bit.
I'm thinking specifically. I thought about this when Noah brought up the Free Nationals, but now I'm thinking specifically about like Bad Bad Not Good. Just they're completely an instrumental band only.
Yep.
Right?
4-piece. Yep.
They have a lot of different collabs both on their albums and then features in other albums. They even and you talk about genre bending. I mean, they even like did an album or a song with Ghostface Killah, So
yep. Oh, they did a whole album with Ghostface. Yeah, that shit
entire
is
album.
sick.
Right.
Yeah,
So
they're actually how I learned about Mick Jenkins with their song "Hyssop of Love" on their 4th album. Yeah.
they've put me onto a lot of cool people that
Yep.
they put onto their collabs as well. Yeah. But this kind of leads into another question. If you could collab with any vocalist in the world, anybody at all, who do you think it would be, and why is it Noah? Because
Yeah, I'm
I mean, it's
taking the
not
words
something that
right
you
out of my
thought
mouth.
about.
because me and Noah have spoken about this a lot, and he is a natural vocalist. That's what he does. He's not interested in the hardware. He doesn't want to pick up an instrument. He is born to sing. So
Born with this beautiful voice.
yes. So I guess we could go other than Noah. Who do
Other than
you
Noah,
like
okay.
to work with?
I've thought about it before because like we were just talking about collaborations, and that's been kind of on our plate. I mean, there's obviously some people that are out of reach. Like I've even talked to the guys about it before, but like Chino Moreno from the Deftones,
Okay.
one of the most unique hard rock metal vocalists of the past, honestly, any time. Like his voice is just insane. If you haven't listened to Deftones, I highly recommend it. They're like melodic metal, but they can get fucking heavy. Courtney LaPlante from Spirit Box, she is killer.
She's cool.
She is
Yeah.
I listened to
insane.
that.
So insane.
Yeah.
So nuts. That is like a different level of nuts.
Yeah, and there's actually some local guys too that like we've talked about. Roy F. Bush, he does like solo stuff. He actually has an album coming out on the 23rd. I don't remember what it's called, but it's the 3 singles he's put out are really good. I've actually already talked to him a little bit about that. And Jordan Bradley from Embracer, local band, making a name for themselves up and down the East Coast. Really solid band, and his vocals are out of this world. He's one of the most talented vocalists I've ever heard out of the state of West Virginia. So,
Damn. A question that kind of follows on that's something that I asked Nate a little bit. But what is do you have a dream, maybe a dream frontman or a dream singer from past or present that you would want to work with? Anybody. It could be literally anybody. Who would fit your mold?
Chino Moreno, honestly.
Really?
He is so diverse. Like he's been featured on a bunch of songs by other bands that I like to listen to. And like, even though I know his voice, like it caught me off guard because it didn't sound like him at first. But then once I realized who it was, I was like, damn, like that's good. And he's incredible.
Damn, I gotta listen to this guy because I think I'm a little bit out of the loop on this guy. But that is my.
I can send you some stuff after.
Please send me.
I got you.
Because like that, he must be pretty good if it's that high of praise to skip literally anybody that was on my potential list that you would pick from.
Yeah, there's nobody like him. Nobody.
Damn, that's crazy.
I think I know that I wasn't asked, but I'd definitely go with Robert Plant.
He was
that's a good pick.
And not just because he's the lead singer of, arguably the most famous band of all time,
yeah.
Literally, but Jesus Christ, like he's awesome.
I have one that I thought would be an out there pick, but someone who I think works with anybody, Dave Grohl from Foo Fighters.
Okay.
I love everything about Dave Grohl except for his vocals, honestly.
But that's the whole point, right?
He would be so much fun to work with, and like I could even get past not liking his vocals enough just to hang out with the guy.
He's not like the most talented out of literally. He's not at all like
he just seems like a really solid dude, in my opinion. He just seems like such a good guy, hard worker.
What do they call him? The nicest guy in rock? Something like that.
I haven't heard that, but that makes sense.
I think that's like his nickname or something like that. I'd have to look that one up.
It fits.
Yeah.
It definitely fits.
Well, we are nice guys, so that's probably why I picked them.
It's destined to be.
We're the nicest guys in podcasting.
Dave Grohl's going to be on next week, right?
Dude, how sick would that be?
Whoa.
Whoa.
That would be crazy. Actually, Curry, you probably wouldn't want that because then this episode would just be like forgotten.
Oh, thanks, Christian. You would just have to turn Dave Grohl onto our music. So
No, that's
Yeah,
why.
that would actually be sick. If Dave Grohl would be on, we'd only play Blackwater Band the whole time. We'd be like, all right, Dave, listen to this one.
Well, but okay, so that was kind of mean, but you didn't let me finish. That's why we're not gonna have Dave Grohl on.
oh,
We would never want Dave Grohl.
thank
on
you.
anyway.
Yeah, he can fuck off.
Yeah, fuck Dave Grohl.
Okay, so anyways, moving on from singers, you are not a singer. You are a drummer.
I sing in the shower, but I don't think that counts.
Who have been maybe some of your specific influences as a drummer? Some of your personal favorite drummers? Anybody who's influenced you? Anybody you want to talk about in that category?
The two that stick out the most as like inspiration, especially like early on, would be John Bonham from Zepp and Vinnie Paul from Pantera. I listened to a lot of Led Zeppelin growing up. My dad's got a shit ton of their CDs. Heard them on the radio a bunch. Pantera is potentially the first legit metal band that I ever listened to, and my dad turned me on to them as well. And I don't know, I spent a lot of time playing Walk by Pantera on the drums.
What's the guitarist's name?
Oh, Dimebag Darrell.
Dimebag Darrell.
Yeah. R.I.P. R.I.P. Vinnie Paul too. He actually passed away last year.
Really? Tom Araya though, still looking like a thick boy. He's looking all right. He's looking good.
Yeah. But then I would say like probably my favorite drummers would have to be well, my absolute favorite is Joseph Arrington. He plays in bands like a lot like Birds, Cyanvar, Royal Coda. He plays drums on Kurt Travis's solo records. And the dude, he can play anything and everything. You give him the sheet music, he'll have it down in minutes.
Okay.
If I had the money, I would pay for lessons easily.
That's cool because I would like to learn a little bit more about drumming when it comes to listening to music because it's not. I feel like maybe you and I have two different experiences of listening to music because the drums sometimes like I have to focus on them or I don't know how to pick out good drumming necessarily.
Mm-hmm. For me, when I'm like listening to music and I decide whether or not the drums are good or not, just to my ear, it's feel. Like how do the drums feel and sit in with the rest of the music? Like if you have a song that's got a little more like groove to it and it swung a little bit, linear drums, no matter how good they sound, aren't going to mesh well with the rest of the music. So I mean, drums are the backbone, but they can't stick out unless it's called for, But
I don't know if you've seen the Larnell Lewis YouTube video. One of the greatest videos ever.
Anything that he's on, man, he's great.
Dude,
I listen to Snarky Puppy just for him.
Bro, whenever he is being able to like pick out what they're about to play next too in that video, unbelievable. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I saw a video that he did where he listened to a song once and then was able to play it.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about.
Oh, that's the one you're talking about? Okay, yeah. That video is crazy.
Yeah. Noah, any more questions?
Not particularly.
Okay, I wanted to ask real quick. We're running out of time on the Zoom call, so we might have to take a break and then go to our last segment.
We'll do a quick ad break.
Well, I just wanted to ask one last question to Curry. You said earlier that you guys are working on some new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And perhaps genre bending a little bit, looking at collabs things. We talked about all of that. Can you let us in on anything specific about the future of Blackwater, where you guys go from here? Anything else or anything you wanna plug?
Work on music is still on new music is still really early. I really think that the 2 songs that we've really started messing with are a lot more vibey than anything that's on the EP, because the EP's kind of harsh and in your face for a lot of it. There's obviously still like vibey parts to it, but this stuff is more mellow, but still in a heavy way.
Okay.
Yeah. Uh, I'll go ahead and say this. We're going to try starting like next month to putting out 1 song a month for a few months, mostly as practice for us because we're doing everything DIY. So
Yeah.
like, I mean, we've been a band since January of last year and just got 5 songs put out a couple weeks ago. But it was a learning process, and we're all far better musicians now than we were when we started because of how we had to learn and teach ourselves how to record and play differently to make the recording sound better, and mixing and editing and mastering, and just the whole process was a lot more than we initially expected it to be. And we recorded the whole EP as like a session. Like we didn't single track anything. Like everything you hear, with the exception of like a few small parts, we all played together at the same time and just recorded it that way. And you can hear that in the quality of it. Like it's not quite as clear and concise as it could be, but that's going to be one of the big changes going forward, that unless we just feel like doing like a live recording, it's all going to be like properly single tracked, and the quality is going to go way up.
That's a good goal to have too. Song a month. That's a really great goal to have. Gives you like something to strive for, like every month too.
Yeah, and like I said, it'll just be good practice for us to get it done. Because every song that we recorded sounded better than the last, and Duster was actually the last song that we recorded, and I think that sounds the best. We played the best on it, and I mean,
it's a great song. It's literally a great song.
I appreciate it.
Doesn't need a singer for it. I literally bang it all the time. Like fact.
I listen to that song still, and we've had that song pretty much written for a year at least.
I remember hearing it on an Instagram live too.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that was like one of the ones that I do remember hearing, and I was excited to hear. And
It's been around.
It was like the feel of it was just totally more like sick. It was raw, dude.
Yeah, there's something about it that, like, despite the fact that I've heard it hundreds of times, like, it still like makes me move.
Yeah,
like, I'm still sitting there stank facing and bobbing my head. So
that's so sick.
Yeah, maybe that'll be the one to take us out. All right.
Not take us out, but
not now, but you know what I'm
Hey, we'll be back.
We'll be back.
3 seconds, in like 3 seconds.
Yeah, something like that. I'm not even gonna we'll be okay. We are back from our commercial break. Thank you, Noah. Still here with Jacob Curry from Blackwater Band, Charleston's own, the drummer. And now we are going to talk top 5 albums of all time. So we haven't really discussed the order or the way we're going to do it, but we put together top 5 lists, and we're going to give them. So, Noah, what do you want to do? Snake draft?
We can do a snake draft. I'll go 5. You give your 5. Jacob gives his 5 and his 4. And then we'll reverse it. Christian, you give your 4. I give my 3 or 4 and 3, and we'll just keep going.
You better keep track of it, because this is going to get...
We'll get it. Hey, I'm the snake draft guy.
When it was just the 2 of us, it fucked me up. So now we got 3.
Well, you're an idiot, so that's why it fucked you up.
That is... I didn't take that into consideration. That's true.
We got it, Christian. Don't worry about it.
Do others have honorable mentions?
I have some honorable mentions.
Yeah, I have 2. Just quickly, would we like to mention?
Like I said, I made a list of
honorable
20,
mentions.
but like,
yeah, we can do that.
Right.
We can just go through straight through, and then I'll start with 5. We'll do our honorable mentions, and then I'll start with 5.
Okay, you start now.
All right, honorable mentions that I think, could be a shout. Basically any Kendrick Lamar album. Abbey Road, The Beatles, in my opinion. It's a great album. Crazy guitar parts. Good songs. Some good vibes in there. I like the Random Access Memories by Daft Punk.
Okay.
2012. It's super sick. If you haven't heard it, it's so sick. It's literally the sickest. And then the Sublime self-titled album.
Hell yeah, dude.
Word.
So vibes.
Curry?
I'd say for honorable mentions, I'll have to go with Beautiful Oblivion from Issues. Great pop metal album. If you haven't heard it, you should. Pop metal. That shit, or heavy pop, whichever one you want to call it.
Heavy pop.
Let's see. Acceptance Speech from Dance Gavin Dance. White Pony from Deftones. Decensus and The Amulet from Circa Survive. And every Mac album that's not on my list.
I think for your albums, when you list your albums, I'm gonna have to get out a pen and paper and go listen to them because I haven't heard of any of these. But that's a good thing.
I'll have to make a playlist for you guys after this.
That would actually be super sick. I'd advertise that.
My honorable mention, I actually had Good Kid, Mad City on there. Noah, that's one of my favorites of all time. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, that's like the first full album that I got super into, the Kanye West album from 2010. And then I put my 2 favorite mixtapes of all time on here, just because I would put them in the list, but we're doing albums, not mixtapes. So Kids by Mac Miller and Cushion Orange Juice by Wiz Khalifa, the highest rated mixtape of all time on datpiff.com.
Hey, it's not only the highest rated mixtape, but it's the highest mixtape.
Yeah. I'm trying to get fried. Not on that, but all right, let's get into it. Top 5 albums.
All right, I can go with my number 5. I think there's a lot that were really close to this, but just because I did want to add some of my touch into it, I love for 5 for me, Only by the Night, Kings of Leon. That album is like you can listen all the way through, and each song, some are like some like stereo hits you'll hear and stuff like that.
What year was that?
Fuck, I wish I had that written down. I probably should have written that down. I'll do that for my other ones. But it's the white one with the butterfly on. Is it butterfly? Does
it have Sex on Fire on it?
And
there we go. All right.
Yeah, it's
favorite Kings of Leon song.
2008. No, but like Closer and Manhattan, Revelry. It's a sick album all the way through.
All right. Sounds good. Curry?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were next, but I'll go. The self-titled album from Violent Femmes, released in 1983. That is where Teen Angst came from. That album, it didn't exist before that album came out. I promise. Okay. I am no sources. Just trust me.
Right.
Just the quality, absolute shit. The performance, not great. But you can feel exactly what they're trying to portray. Heartbreak, lust when you don't even properly know how to have sex, which is, we all remember those days.
I wouldn't know what.
Yeah, you still don't know, do you?
Yeah, I should listen to that so I can learn. I wouldn't know. So
Christian's got to learn how to not have sex.
Yeah. Hey, he wants smoko, so leave him alone.
Okay, all right. Is it me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Number 5. This falls heavily into the category of just something that I've been into recently, very hardcore, all summer basically. I think it's a fantastic summer album. Self-titled American Football album from 1999, I think, or whatever it is. It is. I was living in Morgantown for most of the summer, and it is the absolute best music to listen to while driving around your hometown at sunset. Uh, that is, and that's what I was doing a whole lot of this summer, and that's why it clicked with me. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful album music.
Yeah, I love that album. I've
Yeah,
got that on vinyl myself. That's the only way I listen to it too. I don't.
I would love to. That's pretty
It's
sick.
great.
Yeah. All right. So Snake Draft.
Your
Four.
number 4.
Number 4, I've got Straight Outta Compton by NWA. That was one of the first rap albums I got into. I love the whole album, and it sort of started kicked off the gangster rap genre, kicked off a lot of the lyrical stuff that you see in rap music today, and pissed off a lot of people, which is always, I think, a good marker for an album. I mean, you had politicians and angry suburban moms up in arms about that one. So that's a great album, a classic.
Legendary.
Yeah. All right, Curry.
All right, my number 4 is Everybody Is Going to Heaven by Citizen, released in 2015. This album's just kind of dark and dreary, and the lyrics are kind of scary in the sense of how just sad they are. But the music is simple, but it's really like overdriven, and it's just high gain, and it's kind of the sound is balls to the wall, but it's kind of laid back, and I don't know. And then it just ends beautifully with the songs Yellow Love and Ring of Chain that just kind of like bring it all back together, and it's chef's kiss.
All right.
It's fantastic.
So for my 4, I had a hard time because I wanted to put on 5 my own little flavor. Something I knew that wasn't, up to certain, I guess, standards, but it's the bottom of my list, so I have to give it that, just a shout. So for 4, I was either going to go with My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy because it's one of my favorite rap albums ever. But I think I'm going to go with Led Zeppelin's 4th album. I mean, it has Black Dog, Rock and Roll, Stairway to Heaven.
Oh, you're talking about like the box set? Like
Yeah.
The 4th?
Yeah. And then
okay,
like Going to California When the Levee Breaks. Like as a full like piece, like you can play the whole thing through, and each one is like such a sick song. And they have also like one of the, I guess most overplayed, overused songs ever, but it's still one of those songs because it's a great, Stairway to Heaven. Like there's a reason it's a forbidden guitar riff. It's sick. I love that album too.
I wanted to put the album on. I was gonna put it on my list, but then I felt like a bit of a poser because I haven't necessarily listened to the album all the way through that much. I was literally just gonna put it on there because Stairway to Heaven is probably the greatest song of all time.
You've listened to the album all the way through because you've heard those songs a million times.
Right. I mean, I have listened to the album all the way through. It's just not something I've dug into.
Well, I'm not going to say I've dug into it, but, like, it's still, like, a great album.
It
like,
shreds.
You can't deny it. Yeah.
It shreds.
Exactly.
All right. What's your next one?
My 3 is one that I remember. I don't know if you totally remember this, but I was really confused why everybody was talking about how this album was such an inspiration to them in the, rap and R&B field. And it's The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. Literally so good, and it's so raw, and there's so many, like, she takes so many aspects of other genres and puts it into her album, and it's just, like, so personal, too. It's so, like, raw, and the fact that it's just so good. It's listenable all the way through again. I feel like if you're going to have an album on this high on the list, it has to be listenable all the way through. I think what she does is like a masterpiece too. It's so sick.
Yeah, that personal touch can make an album. Just,
it really does.
I don't know, you feel like you're sitting there listening to somebody just talk to you and like vent and just get themselves out there.
Yep.
Gotta love it.
Yeah, she really gets to it. So, banger. All right, Curry.
All right, number 3 on my list. It's about to get fucking hostile. Vulgar Display of Power from Pantera, released in 1992. Quite possibly
Noah?
the stankest album of all time. I mentioned this album earlier. It was the first metal album that I remember ever listening to, and I loved it the first time I heard it. And I still listen to it to this day, and that's probably been at least 10 years ago that I first heard it, and I still bump every single one of those songs on the regular.
I did listen to some of their stuff, and like, it's really good. I'm not sure what album it was on, but then I also listened to some of their stuff, and like, it's just I don't know if I would say it's like my type of.
No, I feel that it's really aggressive.
It's super aggressive. There are really good songs though.
Yeah,
so I'm not.
They have some softer songs. Cemetery Gates, Hollow has like a chill part, and then This Love also has chill parts. 2 of those songs are on this album.
I actually think Cemetery Gates was one of the ones I had listened to. Yeah, it was. And Cowboy from Hell.
Yeah, Cemetery Gates is one of the greatest metal ballads ever recorded.
Yeah, I like that song. That was one of the songs I liked. I listened to their top 10 songs.
Mm-hmm.
That was my favorite.
All right, Christian.
All right. My number 3, near and dear to our friend group and also me, just an album I've listened to maybe, if not one, the album I've listened to the most in my life. 2001, The Chronic, Dr. Dre and company, doing it for the West Coast at the turn of the century there. It's got every rapper from the year 2000, 2001 on it, and every verse is sick. The production is impeccable because it's Dr. Dre.
That's a great album.
It's got great skits in it. It's funny. Snoop Dogg is hilarious. Exhibit, all those guys. Some of Eminem's most famous verses and songs, things like that. So 2001, that's what I'm going with. My number 2 is going to be Is This It by The Strokes. Been listening to it a lot. That's probably like the most uncontroversial opinion of all time. People love saying that Is This It is like, it's one of the best debut albums by a band, or, one of the best albums of the decade, stuff like that. But it really is.
Yeah, people say that because it's true.
It's close to perfect. I mean, it's 10 songs or maybe 12 songs or something, and every single one is perfect. There's not a blind spot in the entire album. It's truly unbelievable. And from what I understand, influenced rock and roll moving forward there in that time period. So that's me. Curry.
Was that your 3? That was your 2, yeah?
That was my 3 and 2.
Right. My number 2 is Good AM from Mac Miller.
Cheers.
That album is like really bittersweet to me. I mean, even like disregarding his death a couple years ago. That was one of the worst points in my life personally, but like that album, it was like nonstop. I listened to that shit for months, like that and Yeezus from Kanye, just month after month, just listening to that. He really hit every single possible note that he could have hit on Good AM, and you could see his evolution really starting with Good AM, because like songs like ROS, Ascension, and Jump were all kind of like out of left field type of rap songs, especially on like an album like that had a bunch of heavy hitters on it. But that like seemed to me to lay the groundwork for the Divine Feminine, Swimming, and Circles. So that way, like, I don't know, those albums weren't a surprise to me when they came out after hearing Good AM.
That's potentially also his best rap album too.
Yeah, I agree.
Cut the check with Chief Keef. is literally one of my favorite songs ever. Like,
song.
no joke.
That
Like,
song will always get you turned for no reason.
I could have easily put I mean, he's probably my most listened to artist just in general of all time. I don't think anybody touches that. So, I mean, that's a great pick for 2. I can give my 2. It's a little bit, I guess, it's again one of those things that's like, this one's more, my 2 and 1, I guess you'll see, is more me too. But I have Exodus by Bob Marley from 1977. Christian's going to laugh and say, of course, but, after this album, there's a political civil war going on in, Jamaica. He brings, the leaders of both parties up on stage during his relief concert or whatever it was. And both of the leaders of the parties battling, held hands in the air. And like, briefly, it didn't stop technically the Civil War, because it kind of, the 2 leaders of the 2 people that created the concert ended up getting shot and killed. But
you should have left that out.
You gotta watch the documentary. It's pretty crazy.
Doesn't help your argument.
No. But it's such a great album, and it's still relevant. What I'm saying is, a lot of his words are still relevant to this day. And a lot of the problems he was speaking about, through his music, it's timeless, because it's a problems that, are always going to be here, for the rest of time. And it's something that people can learn from. And when looking at all these top 10 lists everywhere on albums, you never see, it's always these critically acclaimed albums. I mean, this is one too, but it's just the impact that it had on the world, it was far greater than, most of the ones that people were putting on, lists and stuff like that. So it might have not, it's kind of hard to stop a civil war with some music, but he did his best job. He got the
music is a tool just like anything else.
Yeah.
So
he got an award for his bravery in that concert. He got shot before that concert too.
Jesus Christ.
He got shot, something like that. I think he got his house got broken. You got to watch the documentary.
Okay.
It's so crazy.
I am interested now. That's fucking. All right, Curry.
Oh, I gotta get my.
I was about to say. I was like,
oh, God. See.
Damn, Christian, I thought we had it.
Something that kind of goes back to senior week, Christian. Something that we've lived basically, there's this songs from this album has been involved in every year of my life since the album came out. And, I could have put a Mac Miller album anywhere here too. But To Pimp a Butterfly is one of my favorite joints ever too. It's so it's something I can't necessarily, some songs I can listen to all the time, but some songs I actually have to listen to it. I can't just I have to focus on it.
Yeah, that's not a casual listen.
That's not a casual listen. You have to actually listen, because it's way deeper than that. And it's so sick. It's easily, in my opinion, the greatest rap album ever too.
I still remember the first time I heard that.
I remember the first time I heard Damn too. That's a story for another day. But
yeah,
that is
Kendrick's albums are just monumental, man.
They really are. Can't wait for the next one.
I remember that whole damn day when I listened to Pimp a Butterfly. That whole day, it's just a memory in my head, because that album just fucking hit just like that.
Memory, while Curry's on here, my first ever memory or my most recent memory of playing Xbox Online with friends was whenever Mac Miller announced his Blue Slide Park album. I was playing Skate 3. And you were in my Xbox party, I think. Or you might have not been in an Xbox party, but I think I was either texting you or something. And I remember having a conversation. And I was super lit about it. And I was I remember the exact park I was skating in Skate 3. That was one of the...
See, if we're speaking of memories around that, Christian and Geneva Thomas were actually the people that got me into Mac, like legit.
And
In homeroom in ninth grade, Christian and Geneva were like the first two people that like I didn't know going into high school that I made friends with, and them telling me to go listen to Blue Slide Park prompted me to make my dad drive me to Target to buy the CD.
luckily, Christian and I bonded over Mac Miller.
Yeah, I was about to say, you got the Mac from me, I got the Mac from Noah, so
I got the Mac from someone too. So we all get the Mac from somebody.
I had heard Knock Knock and Nike's on My Feet before that, but like Christian and Geneva being like, hey, go listen to this. And then the next song I remember after that is Mercy.
The good music.
Yep.
Yeah. That was our shit, ninth grade. Absolutely. So I'm actually.
It's my number one here.
It's
now.
his one.
Okay.
We had a little bit of a sidetrack there.
My bad.
My number one album hails from 1992. It is Core by Stone Temple Pilots.
Cool.
They're good.
Just
I know them.
That's their best album. STP is arguably my favorite band of all time. Their first four albums, it's hard to touch those. Like most, there aren't bands that put out four solid albums like that.
That's one of Nate's favorite bands of all time. Around the time that we interviewed him, he was getting really into them.
They're worth getting into, man. Like Scott Weiland, their vocalist Story. It's one you've heard a million times, but it's still just absurd. Like how somebody could be so talented, yet so hard to work with, and be so riddled with issues surrounding drugs.
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like that was rampant in the 90s. Like we lost several, like just really budding young artists to drug abuse.
Still a problem today too.
Yeah, for sure.
Most of the promising ones too. Unfortunately.
It is unfortunate how it works out like that, man. That shit sucks.
Shit does suck.
Hand in hand. All right, so now
Chrissy?
My number one, again, maybe a cop-out, but
it's not a cop-out. There's no such thing as a cop-out.
I do. I love this album. I love it. I've been listening to it for about a year now, literally going back to it almost every day. OK Computer, Radiohead.
Word. Great album.
Love it.
How's that a cop-out?
I know. I think
from if you said In Rainbows, that might be a cop-out, but OK Computer's all right.
Well, yeah. Well, a lot of people, from what I've been reading and talking to people, because I'm late on the Radiohead wagon. That's sort of like a high school thing for a lot of people, from what I've determined. But most people prefer In Rainbows and Kid A. Curry,
I have a soft spot for OK Computer. That's my favorite Radiohead album.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's got.
I don't love Radiohead, but that's my favorite Radiohead album.
Right. So, all right, there we go.
I'm glad we got that out, because that was really interesting to get new takes from you, Christian, and you, Curry.
You went the wrong way on the.
Yeah, I don't know if it's any different for you guys, but I've got Christian, Noah.
Yeah, I have Christian, Curry.
I'm the one that's recording, so it's Curry, Noah is how it's going to be.
That's weird.
Yeah, but.
So what if I slapped beside me? Does anybody get hit?
Nobody next to you.
Yeah, you're slapping Katie, if anything.
She's not here.
Yeah, be careful.
She's not here.
All right. I think that's going to wrap it up. I think we're going to throw some Blackwater on the end of this episode. We have the express written consent of Jacob Curry to use Blackwater song, so YouTube can fuck off on this.
Could you start a
deal? We made a deal. The Nice Guys podcast owes me $1 million for each use of one of our songs. I'm not sharing it with the band. It's just my money.
Yeah, I hope you're okay with that, Noah. I agreed to that. So now we're $1 million in debt to Jacob Curry.
Hey, I bought the song to use that. Okay, I bought the song for that.
Yeah. All right.
69 cents. Why
Well,
69?
thank you. We're actually going to get some money on our check next week.
Yeah, I bought the song. I haven't bought music since I owned the iPod Nano. Besides, like, streaming.
Yeah.
I thought about buying it, but then I'd just be putting myself further in the hole. But
Exactly. I'm broke as shit. So 69 cents for me is like kind of like $10 for someone that has a $40,000 job.
I would have put it up for free on iTunes if I had the choice, man.
Damn.
Because it's
Hey,
literally free on like Bandcamp and SoundCloud and all that shit.
I don't know how to like download from that, so
Bandcamp's it's
I'm an idiot.
Bandcamp's relatively easy. You just like find the band on the site, and most of the time it's like name your own price or like a minimum price, so you can donate beyond that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Word.
All right. Well, Jacob, thanks for coming on. We're definitely going to get you back on.
Well, thanks for having me and let
Talk
me
more
know
music.
whenever the
Talk
hell you want me.
sports. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, that was it. I'm around, so just let me know, man.
All
I'd love to
right.
be on again anytime.
Thank you so much. For Noah, this is Christian. I don't know. Have a nice.
Demand them.
Peace out.